again, I just wanted to have handed out copies of this to the board for the citizens and the residents. It's just a policy for the town that when they have extra monies, that they invest it wisely, invest it in secure accounts, and okay, so it's a documented policy that has to be approved by the board, etc. So I'd like to review that and get approval on that. I'm going to jump over the comprehensive plan for a second. I've also asked, because our employee policy about violence in the workplace. This is pretty important, that we've had incidents in the past where people have gotten, let's say, a little overly excited, and we've also had incidents where employees have been intimidated, which are all technically very illegal. It's illegal. So I'm going to be working with the town board to incorporate this workplace policy into our employee policy. Financial disclosures. Again, this is going to follow along with our ethics policy, that as each member or new member, I'm not sure if we have to do it yearly, Mike, but at least everybody who's existing, and maybe every new employee has to come in and complete a financial disclosure form. So if there's any conflict of interest, it's documented and the town is protected. There was an email I forwarded to you guys about, and Carol had it in, it's in your mail, about the foreclosure bills that a Michael Kearns is socializing. Again, I talked to Dan Marciniak. Dan is in agreement with it. We did have an incident in town early, maybe summertime last year, where a house had, I guess it was in rental or went into foreclosure. Anyway, garbage started building up, and I asked Dan, can't we get a dumpster and get rid of the garbage? And the answer was no, you can't. One man's garbage, I guess, is another man's prized possessions. But because technically it's somebody else's property, we couldn't go on the property to remove it. And even if we didn't know who would charge. So I think this is what part of this good faith clause and this foreclosure policy is in regards to. So again, and Dan, in next week or so, we can talk to him and get a little more information on it, or we can ask Mike to expand on it. But initially, my thought is we support it. Again, it gives the state, the towns, the municipalities the power to go directly to the banks. Once those banks own that property, they become caretakers. So they need to keep them up and take care of the maintenance. So I hope you guys will consider that. We can talk about maybe a little more depth on the agenda meeting. I did talk to briefly about Angelo Santa Barbara's member contribution. We did talk about the gazebo. The other thing I'm working on is the 2012 final budget submission. So that is due the 28th. So I'm working on with Isla to wrap that up and prepare my final letter. Trying to work with the Civic Committee to work on a couple more programs, obviously the gazebo being one of them. The family movie night has been announced. That's August 19th. It was a great success last year. We're encouraging new members to join. And Laura Miller is priming some work with the local banks to see if we can do some tax collection or get tax payments done at your local branches. Another idea to save some costs is to a barcode system on your tax bills, whether they're water or just property taxes. What is be cost savings about it? If this was your bill, you just walk in as you would in a price chopper. You scan it, and your bill pops up. Push pay, it prints it, it's done. No filling out. It's all done ahead of time. It's all done with software. So we're looking to that, because again, that could be, just in time, would be a huge savings. Northern Skill Repairs, I'm going to meet with Doug Cole this week, so his draft plans are ready, or they're going to be ready this week. And we'll republish the schedule, but I know he presented to us last week, so I'll be meeting with Doug this week. George, if you're available, I'd like you to look over our shoulder, make sure it's good to go. Are you happy with the plans? Now we'll back up to the comprehensive plan. So we did have an incident. As we all are pretty aware, there's a pretty hot button. I agree that these group of volunteers were put in a position that they should never be put in. Is a volunteer group who's doing volunteer work. When I first came into office, I was explicit that I was going to reach out to a number of people to get people from both sides of the street to try to meet and talk. I worked for 8 months on it. I came and I visited some very specific people, asked them to join the committee. We finally got some volunteers again to join the committee. Maybe in my haste to try to get everybody to work together, I invited some people to the meeting. It obviously got out of hand. We're still going to push forward. It's still critically important. Again, everybody's being critical now of a plan that's a draft of a draft. It's not even close to complete. I need to reemphasize what the procedure here is. The procedure is the committee will, of the volunteers, will put their work together, they'll hand it to the town board, this board. This board will review it, modify it, update it, throw it out, adopt it, but it's up to this board. This is the board that has the final say. We will, and again, I'm going to continue to encourage the communications. I've received emails, I know Bob and Lou have gotten feedback. I still think it's critically important. Not only for Metroplex, for the building, it's critically important for the future of the town. I think we can all agree that we like our town, we like the way it is, and we want to see it grow successfully. So just some basic concept and some basic cooperation and consideration and respect will take this 100 yards. Just those basic principles will move this plan forward. Again, Comprehensive Planning Committee, their job is to update it. Again, I asked for a lot of volunteers, and a lot of people turned us down.
What are they in fact updating?
The comprehensive plan.
So what are they using for a basis?
The comprehensive plan.
The current existing legal document that is the town of Princetown's comprehensive plan, or are they starting from a different place?
They're starting on the comprehensive plan.
Because I was under the impression, speaking with members of the committee, that they're actually starting from the draft 2009 proposed revision that was actually legally voted down by a prior town board. So I guess I would question how, if your comments about this process being balanced, if you're starting from a place of really something that was already voted down by a prior town board. We have a comprehensive plan in place that has successfully protected and guided the development and growth in our town since its inception and continues to do so today. I understand that in some conversations that you've had recently with some members of Metroplex, you've kind of portrayed to them that our comprehensive plan is insufficient. I would disagree with you.
Well, Mr. Edwards,
so I guess
if you want to interrupt and you want to walk and talk on your point, your council and concerns, that's fine, Mr. Edwards. Please.
Just you making some statements that I don't think are factually accurate, so
well,
I'd like to just clarify for the people who are here tonight and the town residents.
That's good, thank you. So, Again, I'm going to continue to ask the comprehensive plan committee to keep moving forward and submit their plan when they're complete to the town board for review. And with that, and hopefully no more interruptions, then does anybody have any questions for me? Mr. Myers?
Find out the details of the North Still repairs, could you let me know so I can notify the New York Light Energy, because they don't want to coincide with the repairs, and George didn't want it to be with the two projects going at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought they were going to build a little separate road for to get through that fence down there. That's going to be in the way of...
It might be, it might not be, you know. I mean, New York Light Energy's probably gonna have their project done before we do the bank. A lot of what we do with the bank is gonna depend on
the weather.
what the water's situation is in this spring.
Okay, yeah, well, I was supposed to call him yesterday or today, I didn't get to it, so I'll call him and so, he's got a proposed schedule. Like George said, it's gonna really depend on when the water goes down. But if these guys are gonna get in there sooner, if they can get in March.
George had just mentioned that to me, so I just thought I'd bring it out.
March or early April, the ground's thawed enough. They're not going deep, right? They're only going 4 inches, 5 inches in. Well, I guess they have to trench any electric. Okay.
I think the bases they put in, they're what, 18 inches or something extra down.
Yeah, other than that, anything else? Mr. Edwards?
Skip that over
No, I'm fine. Yeah. All right, so we'll close this section of the meeting and open it up for, oh, we already had public comment. Let's go to minutes. I have to tell you, I didn't get a chance to read the minutes, so neither December 11th, organizational, or the January 8th minutes. On the table? Bob? Mr. Edwards? So we'll table the December 11th, the organizational meeting minutes, and the January 8th meeting minutes. Town board meeting video approval. Do I have a motion that the town board approves the video audio tape recording of February 12th, 2013 town board meeting following the reviewing of the town supervisor or his delegate?
So we'll second.
Do you have any idea why the last publication of the video on Princetown cable just kept showing me standing up and getting around and sitting back down, going on and on and on and on again?
I did get a call. I called Princetown, and I don't know if they just pulled the CD out or DVD out and reset it.
It did get fixed, I haven't turned it back on recently.
Yeah, that day. Yeah.
Thank you.
Edwards,
Aye.
Esposito,
Yes.
Myers,
Aye.
Yes. So we have to go through some organizational resolutions here, folks, so bear with us. Well, that's going to, I can read them all at once, or?
Yeah, if somebody makes a motion to consider them all at once, everybody's familiar with them from before.
All right, so do I have a motion, the resolutions 13 through 13 from fiscal year 2013 are made and considered jointly with one vote. Assessor's assistant, resolved that Iowa Mead be appointed assessor's assistant at salary not to exceed $16,881 for a term to expire on 12/31. Bookkeeper supervisor, resolved that Iowa Mead be appointed supervisor bookkeeper at a salary not to exceed $8,284 for a term ending 12/31. Town Records Advisory Board, Supervisor Joyce selects and appoints Tim Bishop, Mary Sue Reed, serve on the Records Advisory Board with Tim Bishop as acting chair. Town Clerk Carol McLean can either serve on the board or nominate the final person of this 3-member board with a term to expire on 12/31/13. Court clerk appointment, resolved that Rebecca Seeley be appointed court clerk at a rate of $18.04 per hour, not to exceed 1,300 hours or 25 hours a week, or $23,452 for a term ending 12/31/13. Planning Board Chairperson appointment, resolved that Pat Bishop be appointed Planning Board Chairperson at annual salary of $4,965 for a term to expire on 12/31/13. Planning Board appointment, that Cynthia Matthews is appointed to the Planning Board for a term to expire on 12/31/19. Planning Board appointment as an alternate, that Joan Cazaza is appointed to the Planning Board as an alternate for a term to expire 12/31/19. Zoning Board of Appeals chair appointment, resolved that Vic Benson is appointed to the ZBA chairperson at a salary of $1,200 for a term to expire on 12/31/13. Zoning Board of Appeals appointment, resolved that Carleen Van Patten is be appointed to the ZBA as a regular board member for their term to expire on 12/31/17, at the same time removed from her position as a ZBA alternate. Zoning Board of Appeals alternate, resolved that the ZBA alternate position be considered open at this time. Ethics Board chairperson appointment, resolved that Bill Little be appointed the Ethics Board chairperson to a term to expire on 12/31/13. Ethics Board appointment, resolved that Loretta Coolin be appointed to the Ethics Board for a term to expire on 12/31/14. PIAC Chair, resolved that Carl Bard is appointed as PIAC Chairperson at an annual stipend of $150 for a term to expire on 12/31/13. PIAC appointment, resolved that Pierre Gauthier is appointed to the PIAC for a term to expire on 12/31/17. Board of Assessment Review, the bar appointment, resolved that Donald Frederick is appointed to the bar for a term to expire on 9/30/17. Planner appointment, resolved that Gino Santa Barbara is appointed to the town planner at an annual salary of $9,035 for a term to expire on 12/31/13. Dog control officer, that Darla Garlotti be appointed as dog control officer, rate of $17.13 per hour, not to exceed 4,000 plus mileage per term to expire on 12/31/13. Building inspector code enforcement appointment, that Dan Marciniak be appointed building inspector code enforcement officer at an hourly rate of $24.66 for a term to expire 12/31/13. Deputy appointments, that Supervisor Joyce appoints Norm Miller as deputy supervisor for term to expire on 12/31/13 at an annual amount of $1,804. Town assessor, resolved that the town board reappoint Paul Danger as town assessor for a term to expire on 9/30/2019. So before we ask or formally for another motion on this, so the reason we're doing this is a bunch of people did not get a chance to sign the oath book and their 30-day window closed. So we had to reappoint them and their 30-day window opens up again. But just before we vote on this, so Carol and Mike Cuevas, so just to confirm, the water operators, the mileage, wages and salaries, the web, the newsletter, appointments, the stipends, all that does not have to be considered, right? It's just the appointments?
It's just people that are officers as opposed to employees.
Or
Somebody that has discretionary authority, they could even be a volunteer and may have to sign oath of office. So your planning board members, zoning board of appeals members, they have, discretionary authority, they pay taxes, so they have to sign an oath of office. And then there's officers like building inspector, code enforcement officer, they have discretionary authority, DCO, those people are considered town officers when they decide an oath of office.
okay. So did we miss anybody? Carol? We're good? For 30 days anyway?
30 days.
All right, do I have a motion?
I have the book here for anyone who's here.
Thank you, Carol. So, I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Abstain.
Esposito.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. All right, new business. Councilman projects for 2013. So upon advice of Mike, we just wanted to document that the following councilmen are going to be acting on behalf of the town on these specific projects. But before I go any further, Mr. Edwards, should I just scratch the water purveyor?
Yes, please.
No action. All right. Do I have a motion that the following town board councilman will be primarily responsible for the following project, is authorized by the board to investigate the subject matter, develop a proposed plan of action, and report status at each town board agenda and town board meetings. Refinance water bonds, Joyce. Town policies, Joyce. Norman skill repairs, Joyce. Highway and roads, Myers. Carver Larway, Paul rezone, Myers. Town Hall, Esposito and Myers. Court, Drzezinski. Employee policy, Esposito. Solar, Esposito and Drzezinski. E-code, Drzezinski. Town contract review, Esposito and Drzezinski. Do I have a motion?
Gonna need some help with this employee policy. I got a lot on the plate here.
All right.
Town hall and everything else that's going on, maybe the sheriff's department.
We've got sample employee policies that we can look at very easily. That's one of the things we do.
I'll work it. All right. So for employee policy, Esposito, Joyce. Okay, could I have a motion?
So move. Second.
Edwards.
Abstain.
Esposito.
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. State police barracks change order for 2012. The state police asked that some additional painting and wallpaper removal work be completed at the state police barracks for $750. So do I have a motion that the town board has reviewed and approved the change order request for the additional painting and wallpaper removal work at the state police barracks for $750?
Didn't we do that last meeting?
I thought we did, but I just wanted to double check. Yeah, I was informed that there was no
Yeah,
motion.
we can't find the motion for it, the bill just came in.
I'll make the motion.
All right, second.
Second.
Who seconded?
Bob?
Edwards?
Yes.
Esposito?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
Joyce?
Yes. Next one's gonna be a little bit long-winded here, so bear with me. But for the folks, if you don't know, Princetown Cable is decided to sell their franchise to Time Warner Cable. And in accordance with the provisions of section 617.6, initial review of actions in establishing lead agency of New York State Environmental Quality Review Regulations, the town board of the town of Princetown hereby makes the following determinations and classifications with respect to the application of Time Warner Cable Northeast Limited Liability Company to acquire the cable television franchise of Princetown Cable Company Incorporated, including all wires, cables, and other aperture structures and utility easements in or near the public rights of way in the town of Princetown. Number one, the town of Princetown, or the town board of town of Princetown hereby determines that the action is subject to seeker. Two, the town board determines if the action does not involve a federal agency, and that while the New York State Public Service Commission has jurisdiction over the transfer of the cable television franchise, it is not involved in the environmental review process, nor is any other agency. The town board hereby makes a preliminary classification of the actions as a type 1 action.
Actually, that should be amended. It's really unlisted action. There's no disturbance of land.
Where, which point?
Number 3.
In number 3, instead of type 1, it should say unlisted.
Number 4, the town board hereby determines that it is and will be the lead agency with respect to the application of Time Warner Cable Northeast Limited Liability Company to acquire the cable television franchise of the Princetown Cable Company Incorporated. A public hearing with respect to the application of Time Warner Cable Northeast LLC shall be held on March 12, 2013 at 7 p.m. at the Princetown Town Hall, 165 Princetown Plaza, Princetown, New York. The town clerk of the town of Princetown is hereby directed to publish a notice of said public hearing in the Daily Gazette and give notice thereof to the Schenectady County Department of Economic Development and Planning and to other municipalities, boards, and agencies entitled to notice thereof. A copy of this resolution shall be sent to the town clerk, sent by the town clerk to the town planning board, the zoning board of appeals, the building and code inspector, the New York State Department of Transportation, New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, and the New York State Public Service Commission. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Edwards,
Yes.
Esposito,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. Public notice that a public hearing shall be held on March 12, 2013 at 7 p.m. at the Princetown Town Hall, 165 Princetown Plaza, Princetown, New York, to hear all those wishing to be heard on the proposed local law 1-2013, a local law to amend local law number 2 of 2010, the dog control ordinance of the town of Princetown. And it is further resolved that the town clerk place the appropriate legal notice with the Daily Gazette advertising said public hearing and otherwise posting said notice as required by law. Do I have a motion?
What is the law? Where is it? What is it? I don't even have it.
The dog control law?
Yeah, last time I have a form of it, it's in revision. I don't have the dog control.
I thought it was something else. For the last agenda meeting. Okay. So you need a copy of it?
I do need it in order.
There wasn't one at the last meeting.
No, I do need in order to put a notice in the paper.
Okay. I will send that. And it's just a draft.
Yeah, I have a draft, I have things that's all marked up, but I don't have the law.
Okay. So, that's it? That's sufficient?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess it's not.
That's sufficient?
Everybody's got to have it 10 days before. We have plenty of time before the public
It's a
hearing.
month from now. Right.
We do, but when it goes in, I have to have a copy of it.
Okay. All right. I will, forward you a copy. Apologize, I thought I had sent it to everybody a couple times. Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Move?
Edwards,
Yes.
Esposito,
Yes.
Myers.
Yes.
Joyce.
Yes. Okay, general funds claims for 2002, so a motion that town board approves claims 286 to claims 385 in the amount of $28,969.46. Sorry?
That was from me. General fund claims for 2012. For,
That's 100 claims, I'm just saying.
okay, is that the 2012? That should be separate.
It was 286 through, they're not,
286 through,
286 is the first one, then the next one is 378 through 385. So there's a gap from 286 to 378.
What's this one right here?
okay.
That's
That's one of the reg.
That's 2013.
That's 14 through 44.
You're talking about 2012, which is that.
They just took the action from the first and the next one. It's not 100.
I just took the top and bottom, sorry.
Yeah, I don't know what.
So it's gotta be 286.
Did it go from 200 to 300 on one of them?
So, let me read this back. So, the town board approved the claim of 286 and claim 378 to claim
385.
385, yeah.
Yeah. Can you just take that top one and change the claim number to the last one, 386 maybe?
You want to scratch 286?
Yeah, because I think that must have been a mistake, the 200 one.
Oh, so
Make it-
286 was actually 386?
Right.
Okay. All right, so we'll scratch the whole thing then. So the town board approved the claims of 378 through 386,
Yes.
in the amount of $28,969.46.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Edwards,
Yes.
Esposito,
Yes.
Myers,
Yes.
Jazinski,
Yes.
Joyce, sorry about that. I need those back.
I didn't sign those because there appears to be a duplicate bill in there that got signed off on, so.
Okay.
Want to hand over? So I think we got here, Amy, is I think we have two of your bills addressed the same night. One for January 3rd organizational meeting and one for the, well, I don't have the January 8th one.
I have copies, I think.
Is that okay to change date and put a new invoice number